Hello everybody, good evening and welcome back to the show. As ever, I'm your host Dan Potts. I'm with lead judges, and because it's Arsenal versus West Ham as a preview, we got Dan Lawless back only on the other night, and he's back with us already, mate. Can't keep away. Lawless, how you doing, bro?
I know, mate. Twice in 1 week, eh? What's going on? But always love being on the channel. Anyway, the Judge and Lawless, what a combo, eh? What a combo.
Yeah, I see someone put that the other day. This is the Judge and Lawless. I thought, yeah, I'd take that. I quite like that.
Yeah, it's quite a good name, that, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? So, Lawless is a good name, by the way. That is a quality name. Is that really your name, then?
Yeah, it's really my name. It's really my name, mate. I remember when I was a teenager, and used to get stopped by the police, like just for being a teenager on the streets, and you used to tell them your name, and they'd think you was winding them up, and they'd back and forth, like, nah, it's not your name, but yeah, it is legit name.
Love it, man. Love it. Judge and the Lawless. That might be a future show, Judges. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it might have to be, man. It might have to be. Listen, let's talk a little bit about football. Let's talk about last night, first of all, I suppose, because Arsenal haven't played, West Ham had. Did you go to the game, Dan?
Yeah, I was there, mate. I was there last night.
What did you make of it, bro?
It was a weird one because that early goal was a killer. As an absolute killer. It took the wind out of the fans' sails for sure. It sort of knocked the wind out of us. It was sort of stunned, and it affected the atmosphere a bit, and it frustrated the fans because for a good while we're chasing. So every time there's a misplaced pass, fans are getting frustrated, and that you can tell that nervousness went on to the players, and I think there was a bit of nerves there. But on the balance of the game, like, we had, I suppose, the better of the chances overall. We hit the bar like 3 times. So, yeah, it was a tough game. Frankfurt are good. They're a good team. They got some really good players. But, yeah, we didn't take our chances. That Bowen one at the end. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh,
that went in. He scored in the first half.
Yeah, he had. Yeah, I mean, that was right in front of me. He goes through on goal, and you're thinking, I'm sort of already getting ready. That's to celebrate, and you start to the anticipation, and then it hits the post, and I'm just like, how has he missed that? That was to level it up at 1-1, but yeah, defending for the second goal was poor, and it was a tough one. But we're still in it. So I'm feeling okay. It's a weird feeling.
A lot of work to do, Dan. Do you think in the second leg, or do you feel confident still?
It's about, I think, getting that goal as early as possible, I think, is key to that fixture. That's going to be it, not chasing the game for a long period and having them counter out on us, Yeah, Kamada, he's a good player, Kamada. He caused us all sorts of problems. But yeah, we had Ben Rama hit the crossbar, Bowen hit the post a couple of times, hit the crossbar as well. But Antonio got his goal, so I'm hoping that gives him the confidence now to go into the second leg and start to go on that run. Usually this is the sort of time of year he starts to pick up. So if he can do that, it's horrible. Like I said to someone, like, I didn't feel this nervous when we was in relegation battles. Like being up at near the top, competing for stuff, whether it's European places or competitions like this, it's more nerve-wracking. I feel more sick than I did in the relegation battles. That is,
yeah, man. Listen, you're trying to compete with the big boys now. It's got to take baby steps, and it gets more nerve-wracking as you go up a bit. Before I come to judges, Dan, miraculously your centre backs appeared. Zuma was fit. I didn't know if is he suspended at the weekend or is he back now? Then, like, what's going on with Zuma?
He's available to play, Zuma. He's fit, which it was a big shock to me. We was talking about it when I come on. We did the top 4 show the other day. Just out of the fact we got no centre backs, and Zuma just appears in the starting lineup miraculously. And had a pretty good game. There's a few times he went down, and you start to worry, but he is available to play on Sunday if Moyes so chooses. But Dawson is still out. So Zuma would be the only available senior centre-back for Sunday. But it was good to see him back and give us a bit of a lift.
Yeah, you needed him, man. You're desperate in that position at the moment, so I suppose it was good to see him back. Judges, let's come to you. Before we go into Arsenal and the weekend's game, let's talk a little bit about West Ham this season, because I've been really impressed with them, Judges. Not for the pure fact that obviously last season I thought the team spirit was there. David Moyes did a great job, got them into the European competitions. To see them do it again this season and float around top four challenging, I think they deserve a little bit more credit than they're getting, Judges. Do you?
Yeah, I think they're brilliant, good side, well managed, well run club. If I got a criticism of them, I felt that maybe in January, when knowing what that was coming, they didn't strengthen. I think that was probably. I said that if West Ham were to strengthen, they would push on a little bit. I just feel that it's just taking its toll on them a little bit. But all credit to them. They've been a really, really good side over the last couple of seasons. A really well organised, well drilled side, and when they get their 11 out and it's fit, they're as good as anybody to compete. And that's what they've done this season. I think. I'm going to be really honest. David Moyes, I think with COVID and all that, he could play under a little bit less pressure with the fans at first and get a little stepping stone, and what that I think helped him. But I think that's the momentum's then took on with the fans coming back. I think that they've got a good atmosphere. What I can hear of it. I'll be honest. I've always said this. I'm not going to lie. I feel sorry for the West Ham fans having to watch their football there after they Upton Park, because that was a legendary atmosphere there. Every time I've gone to the London Stadium, I've been a little bit disappointed, if I'll be honest, with the view and the atmosphere and everything like that. But what I've seen on the telly in the last couple of times that I've watched them, the atmosphere that definitely seems a lot better. And they've got a bloody good team. They've got some really, really good players. We were talking about, like the other day, how many Man United players you take from Arsenal to take to Arsenal. Not many, but you take a few West Ham players. You know what I mean? Like Declan Rice, I think is fantastic. I was talking to my mate West Ham Paul today about it. I said, do you know what West Ham really lack? If they had and I mean this and said, I think Antonio is a great player for them and all that. But if they had a proper goal scorer, they'd be bloody dangerous. You know what I mean? And I mean dangerous. Bowen on that right or left hand side.
Yeah, I love him, man. He's wicked. That Bowen.
Vanels is a good player and all that, but they just haven't got that 20-goal striker. If they had that, I tell you what, they could be really, really challenging for other things. Listen, for me, I don't think the tie's all over. I think that they're still very much in it. I think, if I'll be really honest, I was talking to Paul about this today. I thought Lyon were a better team than these. I did, and I was impressed with Lyon in that first game, and I thought, I don't know, but West Ham went and blew them away from home. So I think they're more than capable of doing that. So I don't think it's all over. From our point of view, perfect result, as Paul said today, perfect result for Arsenal, and I'll tell you why it's perfect result for us, because West Ham now have got to chase the game. And they need their forwards available. Now, do they risk any of their attacking players against Arsenal? And it's, so, for instance, if for instance they had Antonio playing and he pulls a hamstring against Arsenal, and that could cost them for the Europa League. So obviously, I don't want him to get an hamstring injury and whatever, but they're the decisions that he's got to make. He's got a real difficult decision, I think, and I think that all round, does he risk Declan Rice? Does he play Declan Rice as a central defender? Kurt Zouma, I think, was, a gamble. I think a gamble that they had to take. Is it a gamble that they have to take on Sunday? So there's lots of questions going to be there for them for this game. And it's strange that this game's come for them. I was looking at Rangers, for instance, got Celtic this weekend. What a time to play Celtic in between these two games. So there's a real, and I think that the dilemma is going to be for Leicester as well. Vardy come back, didn't he, straight away? And do they bring him back for this game? Could they carry him with another game? I doubt if they will see him at White Hart Lane on Sunday. So I think that they've got some real decisions to make. West Ham, I don't like it when people turn around and go, they put all their eggs in one basket. They haven't really. They're still in with a chance of getting European football. But what they've got is a massive, massive chance of getting Champions League football, because I was flicking over from the games, if I'll be honest, yesterday. The other two teams are beatable. I'm going to say that now, are beatable. I think Frankfurt are beatable. If West Ham can get to this final with Moyes and what he knows and the players, get a couple more players back defensively, West Ham are still very, very much in with a chance of going Champions League football, next season. So a real test of what David Moyes does. I'm pretty sure he's going to be agonising over what to do over these next couple of days. Does he take the risk? Does he not? Because from my point of view, I think that I still think this tie is more than in West Ham more than capable of getting something out of it. I really do. I don't think you should be too down about it if you're a West Ham fan. I think that there was signs that they can be got at. And the key of it all, and I think it is a very, very big key, is no away goals rule. I think it could be different with the away goals rule. But that ain't now. 1-0 gets you to penalties, 2-0 wins it for you. So I don't think it's where you've got to worry about, if they score, whatever, if they score, you've got to score 2. You know what I mean? Whatever happens, West Ham have got to score 2 goals to win it anyway. So, if I was a West Ham fan, I wouldn't be too doom and gloom about it, because they created enough chances yesterday to tell me that they've got a chance of winning it. And also, when you're 1-0 up, do you play differently? How do they go about it now? I don't, from my point of view, West Ham know exactly what they've got to do. Frankfurt don't. They're in a little bit, do we defend? Do we go? Do we do this? They're the team that's in a little bit of a decision making there. So for me, West Ham definitely still in it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are in it. I mean, listen, if it's a 3 or 4-0, you kind of heads down, but 2-1, it's nothing, man. And there's no away goals anymore.
We've got Wenger to appreciate for that away goals rule, innit? We've got Wenger to thank for that. He
wanted it gone years ago, mate. And we were dumped out of it. Well, how many times did we used to go out on away goals?
Well, a few times, yeah. I ain't got no problem with the away goal rule, but when it comes to extra time, I didn't like it. When it comes to extra time, it should be then squashed if that's the way they're going to do it, because it ain't 100%.
Fair. Have a half hour to score an away goal.
How's that fair? I've always said that. You know what I mean? Like even when I was kids, going, no one could ever tell me why was that fair. It's not like it was. The advantage was like through the draw. So if you got the second leg, you got it away from home. So why get an extra 30 minutes over another team? And then if you scored in that 30 minutes, it was like, the other team's got to score 2 goals. I just think it was wrong. That was silly rule.
The other thing is the reason that it made that's the thing though. But the thing is though, Dan, that's what was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be brought in to make teams attack away from home. All it did was make teams defend at home. That's all it did. So I didn't think it made it any more exciting at all. I think it ruined it. And I think now it's a much better system. And I think that, you've got to be lucky that you haven't got an away goal there, Dan, because obviously they've got 2 there. But I think you're well in the tie. But I wanted to ask you, Lawless, moving on from last night, I know that's all you want to talk about and concentrate on, and I get that. But let's just talk a little bit about David Moyes, because he come in a similar amount of time to Arteta, but he was there before. Saved you from relegation. Everyone said, he's done his job, but let's get rid of him and try and go for someone better. But I've always thought he was a decent manager, and that Man United stint just completely ruined and tarnished him, if I'm honest, because he is basically doing with West Ham now what he did at Everton before, in my opinion, putting you in and around the Champions League. So how much credit does he deserve, and are you happy with him? Because I know you weren't convinced to start with.
Yeah, no, look, he deserves a lot of credit. I was very vocal after his first stint. I was happy when he left after his first stint. I was not happy when we signed him back. I thought it was a step backwards now to go and get him. But he's come in and he's proved a lot of West Ham fans wrong. And what, I listened to, I can't remember what the podcast is, but he done a podcast recently, and just how much of a student of the game he is, and the fact that he seems to learn from his failures, I think has helped him massively. I'm talking about the Man United job, and he said how he probably got that job as too early in his career because of the fact of it was such a big job, and the lessons that he learned now, we did not know then. And thankfully for us, he's been able to take the failures at Man United's, Sociedad, Sunderland. He's been able to take all of that and his first go round at West Ham and go, okay, this is my vision, this is my plan, and bring it along. And he's come in, and I think he come in with a lot more, I think, power than he had the first time around. Because the first time around, it was like, you're here short term, then we're getting a big name. Now it's like, well, look, you sat me the first time, now you need me again. He's been able to take control of the club a bit more, have more say, have more decisions on players and things like that, try and get more of his own people in. And yeah, it's worked wonders. Look, he every now and then he'll do something that frustrates me, a substitution, a lineup thing, but it's the same with all managers. We all get that, don't we? There's something there, but overall, like what he's been able to do in such a quick time is, first of all, get us in, keep us up, and get us right up the league. Then get us in 6th place. And I always said, great, you got us 6th place, well done. But for me, can you get us around there next season? Because the problem we have always had is consistency from season to season. We'll have a great season, then like an average season, then it might be a disaster for a couple of seasons. Then we'll claw our way back up, a good season, and it'd always be up and down. We never seem to be able to solidify ourselves up near that upper end of the table. And Moyes has done that. Look, the season's not over yet, but he's also done it whilst sustaining a very good European Cup run.
Yeah.
So all the credit in the world, him and his backroom staff. He frustrates me. A similar situation, like Lee said, was spot on there about what he said about the window, and I have to sort of give him some criticism for that. I think it's similar mindset to Arteta. I think he had of, I don't want to just bring in a player for the sake of bringing in a player. I want to make sure I bring in the right player, which is admirable, because we've all had these players on your books that don't quite fit. It's hard to shift. However, the thing is, you can't sit there and look to the future and think, oh, what if this player don't work out and we've got him for a few seasons? Like, you have to deal with the here and now. Arsenal are trying to get in the Champions League. West Ham, we're trying to get European football. We're trying to win a trophy. So let's do what we can. If we can't get our first, second target, let's just bring in someone to give us that squad depth to push the players that we've got and help get us over the line. And that's the little bit where it falls down. But then the summer, I have to see us get a spot on window. I don't want to see no Diver Dave business. I want to see him get the targets that we want to get, be prepared, and the board splash the money ultimately, So, but yeah, big credit to Moyes for sure.
Yeah, I think he does deserve it a bit. And I want to come to you and judges on this one, because I was asked this today with a friend of mine. Who's done a better job, David Moyes or Mikel Arteta? And it's quite funny because someone in the chat has put Dan Lawless the Arteta hater. Which, to be fair, maybe is a little bit harsh, but I know you're not convinced by Mikel Arteta. But we'll come to judges after. But Lawless, what about you? Has David Moyes done a better job than Mikel Arteta, do you think?
I think it's context, isn't it? Really, of what the ambitions of each club are. What each club are trying to ultimately achieve, what our targets are. I would say at the moment he has. Look, I've had a lot of criticism for Arteta, but I think one of the things that I do have to give him credit for is what he's done with the youth setup. Like, bringing in some young players now, and they're looking like he's got these bright prospects. You've got a young team involved. So that's good for him. I think that's something to give him credit for. But I just think in where you look at Moyes, where he's taken us from and where he's taken us to, I think, yeah, you've got to give him more credit. I think he's done a better job in terms of Arteta. He took a team that was finishing 5th, around those places, to 8th again. Obviously, give him credit for the FA Cup win, but then it's like, okay, so he might be taking you back 4th. He's not really the progression from us. Where Moyes has taken us is a lot bigger of a leap than what really Arteta's doing. For him, he needs to take you back towards them 2nd, 3rd places, challenging maybe sort of going far in the Champions League if you get there. That's what Arteta needs to do. I think a lot of Arsenal fans, because you've had such a poor time for so long, the standards, I think, have dropped slightly from fans. And I think, you've got to look at where you really want to be. Why did people want Wenger out? Why do people want Emery out? Because, you just stopped, well, especially Wenger, you stopped challenging. The top 4 slipped, and that was it, So, yeah, I've got to say I'm Moyes on that basis.
Yeah, and I can't really argue with you. I'm not sure judges can either, but I'll ask you the question anyway. Judges, who do you think's done a better job for you, Mikel Arteta or David Moyes?
At the moment, probably on even kill, if I'll be honest. But I think that the question you got would be, if David Moyes didn't have European football, where would West Ham be? And I think that they'd probably be challenging because they've. I think with West Ham, I think if they've just run out a little bit of steam as far as trying to compete on both levels, and I think that probably if I've been really honest, I think the club's looked at it. I thought, you know what? To win the Europa League, I think we've got a better chance of doing that. And plus, there's a trophy at the end of it, where I think getting in the top four, there isn't a trophy. So I think that they've probably targeted that a little bit like of it all. You know, Arteta's had a bigger budget, let's be honest, than David Moyes. David Moyes has had to scrimp and save with certain things. I think that it'd be very interesting if Arsenal got top four and David Moyes won the Europa League. Who would actually then you could ask the question? It'd be a very, very difficult question to ask, you know, because
David Moyes 100% won the
they've
trophy.
both been successful. They've both been successful in what they do. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
you'd rather win the Europa League than come fourth, wouldn't you? I would anyway, because you get a trophy.
Well, I would, but we're not in it. You know what I mean? So
no. I was meaning West Ham. I was meaning.
Oh
West
yeah,
Ham,
I was hoping we'd win it the year before, and the year before that. I'm with you on that. You know what I mean? So, but listen, if West Ham can get over the line and win this trophy, you know, I don't like to bring it up, but 1980 was the last time that West Ham won anything. You know what I mean? You know, it would be a remarkable achievement for him as a manager. We'll put him in esteemed company with like someone like John Lyall, you know what I mean? And no other West Ham manager in my lifetime's won anything. So you'd have to give him the credit. I listen, when it comes to being a manager, I think David Moyes got a complete and utter harsh deal at Manchester United, and that knocked him for a little while. I remember he went to Sunderland. I think he went to was it Sociedad? I'm not sure.
Sociedad and Sunderland, and he was awful at both because I think his confidence was shot.
Really. Yeah, and I think that he, you know, so West Ham, you know, whoever employed him at West Ham, you know, took a gamble and done a good job. I was talking on I don't know if it was Sky Sports the other day or TalkSport, one of the two. He's recruited well with his backroom staff. I don't know if you've ever seen, but if you ever go back into Football Revisited, Irwin is it Irwin? The
Alan Irvin.
Alan Irvin. Have a look at him when he's playing, like skinny little right winger, like, you know what I mean, playing forever. And but you know, apparently he's a very, very good coach. You know, Stuart Pearce is in the background there. You know,
Kevin Nolan.
So they've recruited really, really well, and then they're going to obviously like, you know, they're going to keep the West Ham theme going as well. So I think that he's done an extremely fantastic job, and I think he's really, what would I say it like without. He's got his mojo back. He's got his credibility back a little bit by doing what he's done at West Ham, and all fair play to him, like, you know. So, and I think tactically he's very, very good at what he does. I remember watching him, you know, out for many a team. Listen, you know, we was 3-0 down against them last season. It could have been 5 or 6. You know what I mean? Like,
that game.
That game was mental.
Mental game. You know what I mean? Like, in the end, we was disappointed we didn't win it, weren't we, Dan? But
yeah,
I think we had a chance right at the end, and I think then Antonio had a chance right at the end as well.
It was just nuts. It was crazy.
So I think that you know, listen, he's done an outstanding job, and he should get the credit. And I think, will he get the credit he deserves? I don't think he will, if I'll be honest. If he don't win that trophy, if he wins that trophy, I think that he will. I think that he'll get a tremendous amount of credit. But I think if they was to fall short, I don't think that he will do. You know what I mean? And I think that's a little bit harsh really on him. So,
Lee, if they get through against Frankfurt, do you fancy him to win it against David?
Yes,
David
I fancy West Ham to win it anyway. I've said that, like, you know what I mean. I think that you know, I'm going to be really honest. Yesterday, watching the game, I felt that West Ham's players froze a little bit. You know, like time for a semi-final, scoring a goal, conceding the goal within the first seconds weren't great for them. Second leg's a different thing now. They've got that experience now. I think that they'll be okay. I'll be very, very surprised very, very surprised if they don't get through. Very surprised.
Yeah, fair play. Lawless, let's move forward towards the game this weekend, mate. In all seriousness, like the game's done now, and you have to have eyes on Thursday next week. If I said to you now you can only win one, you're obviously going to win Thursday and concede this one. But what do you think Moyes is going to do in terms of team selection for West Ham? Are we going to see quite a lot of changes so they rested for Thursday, or are you going to go pretty strong still?
I think they take a similar approach as he took to Chelsea. Rests certain key players, have a few key players in that side, but probably go more defensive and try and frustrate Arsenal, stop Arsenal from scoring, stop Arsenal from creating chances, make us difficult to break down, and then try and maybe bring in a few heavy hitters off the bench later on to try and nick it. That was the game plan against Chelsea. Obviously, the red card changes the game, leaves space open for Chelsea to get that goal. But ultimately, I think we would have got at least a point had we not got that red card. And I think that's the game plan that he will take in for Sunday. So it's going to be very interesting. And that's the thing. I think where Arsenal fans, I know it's like you look at it on paper and you think, yeah, West Ham are going to be focused on Thursday. They're going to rest loads of players. It's a weakened team. But if the game plan is solid, I think it's going to be difficult for Arsenal. They're going to have difficulty breaking us down. You look against Chelsea and like Man United, teams that play more on the front foot. I know Chelsea do play a 3 at the back, 5 at the back situation, but they're going to be more coming at you at home and more expectation on them. Whereas before that, Arsenal really struggled to score goals against the likes of sort of Palace and Brighton and Southampton. So I think you'll be in a situation again where you'll really sort of struggle to score. And it will just be on us to see if we can pick our moments in that game. But yeah, like I think Rice will probably be rested because he's probably our most important player. Bowen again will probably be rested. Antonio will probably be rested. Soufal will probably come in. Souček will probably start still. Zuma's the big question mark. I don't risk Zuma, but then we haven't got any senior centre backs in. You have to put in Creswell and Johnson again, 2 full backs, and then try and put maybe a young centre back in there if we do want to play 3 centre backs, and then have Masuaku as a left wing back and Soufal as a right wing back. But then you just worry because you've got a young team. If you haven't got that experience there of someone who's, we had Dawson there for Chelsea and he makes a stupid mistake, but you got someone there that can command that back line, keep everyone settled, keep everyone calm and lead from the back. But if we haven't got that will give you opportunities to maybe pull our players apart. But I think having that setup though, where you've got like Saka on the left, we'll be able to sort of have Creswell and Masuaku sort of double up on him and try and frustrate him because he's going to be the big key player that is going to cause us problems. So having 2 players at least to be able to double up on him and then maybe the middle centre back and things like that, I think that's key. So I think, obviously I could be wrong, you could batter us, but I think on paper it's going to be a more difficult game than Arsenal fans anticipate, I think.
Fair play. I'm going to come back to you in a minute, Lawless, to ask what you think the team's going to be, bro. So have a bit of a think about that for me because I know it could be a bit hard. So yeah, exactly. Have a go at what you think it will be anyway. Judges, let's come to you. 3 points is a must. How do you think we're going to get them, and how do you think this one's going to play out on Sunday?
Well, I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be a foregone conclusion. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I mean? 2 things that we got the advantage, and one being that they've got this game. They're in the middle of the semi-final. They don't really want to be playing that. If you sat down with West Ham and said to them, and Dan and say, look, you can have Sunday off if you want. Like, they're all going to take that. You know what I mean? Like, and we play Arsenal towards the end of the season. Which I think should be something that the league should actually do because I think that it's. Trying to give our teams a big advantage going into those games. You know what I mean? I do, but they haven't done it. So I think that would be a case. And also the other thing is, Dan, while they're playing that game last night, the emotion of it, the the mental side of it and everything like that, the physical side and that. We've been sitting up at home with our feet up, ready to go, So we haven't played since last Saturday. So it's 8 days since we've played. So I think being fresh, being a little bit has got to help as well, So all the I think aces are in the Arsenal hand. You know what I mean? It's how we play those aces, and this is where I do expect Arsenal to win this game. And I've been, whether you think I'm right, whether you think I'm wrong, I was cheering on West Ham against Lyon because for the sole purpose of that I knew that this game was coming in between these two games if they got it. I've always said that. So I was always wanted West Ham to be in this position. So if we were to win it, fair play. I'm going to brag about. I actually said to Paul today, I'll come in on Tuesday, and I promise you, I won't be giving you grief. I promise you, because I expect Arsenal to win, and I know that for West Ham, they've got bigger fish to fry. This is an opportunity that Arsenal cannot mess up, because this is an opportunity that Tottenham have not had, Manchester United have not had, Liverpool have not had, when they're going to get 100% focused West Ham at the London Stadium. It's a difficult place to go. So Lady Luck has served us a nice bit of Lady Luck, slice of the pie. Eat it.
Yeah, man, we need to big time. Lawless, what's your team news, man? What's your team going to be tomorrow?
All right. I mean, I've just seen Lynn's comment there. I didn't watch the press conference. I said I was out filming in Stratford, so I didn't see.
Right, Lynn.
If I'm to take Moyes at his word, and it's not mind games, kind of like we did with Zuma and that, and I'm saying his word that he won't play a youngster, I'll say obviously it's going to be Fabianski coming in. Zuma will start then. If we're not playing a youngster, it's got to be Zuma with Johnson and Rice as that back three, Soufal right wing back, Masuaku left wing back, and then I see there was a comment saying that Rice and Bowen will start. If one of them got injured again in this Arsenal game, that would be absolutely devastating. So I would expect, I think Luke who said that. I would be devastated. So I think it has to be Noble and Souček again, and then
Noble's got to play it, surely, Dan.
Yeah, yeah, Noble, and he likes a London derby. He does like a London derby. He usually turns up for these games, and then I think it will be probably Benrahma and probably Fornals, because even though Fornals has played, Fornals does have a little bit more of that defensive grit in him to be able to, get up and down the pitch and get stuck in. Where obviously Benrahma's got that creativity side of him. He didn't start the other day, and then possibly Yarmolenko up front. It's not necessarily what I really want to see Vlasic. He's hardly featured, and I think he's going to be fresh. He's going to be raring to go. You could potentially not play Nobes and play Lanzini in that holding role, which he played quite a bit this season. So he's capable of it. And then it gives us, he was quite good defensively, actually. He got stuck in a few tackles, won the ball back. So having that creativity a little bit deeper for us to be able to get out of, when we're pinned back. There's so many possibilities, but I think I could see a potential similar team to Chelsea, but with Zuma instead of Dawson, basically. But it's going to be a hard one to predict either way. Who knows what he's going to do, but I'll be shocked.
So you said Rice in a back three. Did you mean Cresswell in a back three? You think Rice will play?
Did I say Rice?
Yeah.
I thought I said Zuma, Johnson, and Cresswell. I mean.
Yeah, you said Zuma, Johnson, and Rice. I was surprised, but yeah.
Sorry,
okay.
yeah,
Cresswell.
Bad,
that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah,
I get
Zuma,
you now.
yeah.
I was thinking, because then you said, I think Noble and Souček, we won't risk Rice. And I was like, but you've just put Rice at a back three.
Right, yeah.
So, I get you.
Yeah, I will be shocked if Rice and Bowen play, because them two are our two most important players right now.
Yeah.
One of them got injured, picked up a knock. Even if they can sort of play, but they're not 100%, we need them both 100% for that game. Keep them on the bench. Do what we did against Chelsea. Try and hold on. Bring him on later in the game for like 20 minutes, 25 or something, to try and either see out the point or snatch the win. Because as much as our be all and end all is Frankfurt, we still want to stay in that top 6 race. We still want to stay there because Man United are an awful, awful side. So that is very achievable for us. Even though they've got a couple of points on us now, we can still get that 6th place. So if we don't win, if we do go out against Frankfurt or we do lose the final, we're back in Europa next season. I don't want to, fall out of it and then we get like 7th. I wouldn't mind to go in the Conference League. Look, I think Leicester probably didn't give much of a care about it early on, but now they get into the semi-final, they're playing against Roma and that. It's getting exciting, so, and then they can get into the Europa League that way. So, and win a trophy. I know it's not an established one, but you would take that, but we could potentially fall out behind Wolves. Wolves are still, so if we finished 8th and didn't win the Europa, that'd be a really disappointing season for us. Really disappointing.
Yeah, I think from where you were and where you were at, I think you're probably right, bro. But
I
it's going to be
my eggs in one basket completely.
Nah, of course.
Let's stick one egg in the Arsenal game at least. One egg there, and the rest of the eggs can go in the Europa League.
Yeah, no, fair one, man. Judges, let's come Arsenal, man. Team news for you. What would your team be against West Ham, mate?
I would keep everybody the same. The Tommy Asu one's an interesting one. Very interesting what to do there. I don't know.
And then the front four. What happens at the front
gamble,
four?
It's still a gamble. Listen, do you know what? I'm going to say this now. I look at other teams and they say, like, for instance, Vardy comes straight back in after months out. You know what I mean? Like, if you're fit, you're fit. Tommy Asu's on the bench. It means he's fit. I would play Tommy Asu because I think we need to have a little bit more solidness in our back four. I think like we've got 2. If he comes in, we've got 3 of our normal back 4 back in. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's important. So I would bring Tommy Asu back in. Like, I would still carry on playing Tavares. A little bit harsh on Cedric, but I would go that route. The one position that I think could be up there is Martinelli for Smith Rowe. I don't know if Smith Rowe's just carrying a knockdown. I don't know. He just didn't seem to be at his best on Saturday. Probably though, because he played Wednesday and then Saturday. Maybe his body's not quite up to that at this moment in time with the knock and everything. I just think he's carrying. I just got this little feeling that he's carrying, So that could be it. But I think when you've won those 2 games back to back against Chelsea, Man United, I would basically keep it as close as I can. Tommy Asu maybe, but do you know what? If Cedric's playing, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah,
I suppose with Tommy Asu, he'll be missing, wouldn't he? He'll be missing that match fitness that might.
Yeah. But do you know why I'd go with him though?
You've got to get it somewhere along the line,
Do you know why I'd go with him though? Because, like you say, Lee, Tavares needs him. Like, we need that discipline on that side so that we can have, like, having Cedric and Tavares, one of them trying to be disciplined while the other bombs forward on the other side, just doesn't really work for me. And I think that Cedric was starting to do it with Kieran Tierney, but because Kieran Tierney is more of a defensive player and Tavares is not, I really feel now that we need Tommy Asu back. And I don't really understand why Tommy Asu has been out for this long. Like, it must be a hell of a calf strain, this, because we've not seen him for 3 months. So, very bizarre. Hopefully he comes back in. I probably would go with Martinelli. Was rumours that Saka wasn't going to be fit, but he is fit now. I expect to see Eddie Nketiah continue up front. I expect to see Martin Ødegaard and Granit Xhaka in the middle with Mohamed El Neni, because since Partey's been out, Mohamed El Neni has definitely come in and deputised better than Lokonga did. I don't think the back pair in White and Gabriel will change. So I think really it's only a question mark whether Tommy Asu's going to come in and whether it's Martinelli or Smith Rowe on the left-hand side. I think the rest of it will be the same as Man United. Lawless, when you look at that team, do you think that's dangerous of Arsenal's? Do you think we're going to cause you some threat?
Yeah, I think that's very dangerous. Like, going forward, look, personally, I just from an outside perspective, I'd be more worried about Martinelli than Smith Rowe. Even obviously Smith Rowe did score against us at your grand. But I do rate Martinelli a lot, and I think he can definitely cause us a lot of problems. And Saka, obviously, everyone knows about Saka. So those 2 players in particular are players that I worry about most. If you got Tomiyasu, if he does come back in, he gives you a little bit more of that stability, on the right hand side if we do want to attack defensively. I haven't seen how good he is in terms of creating and bombing down as like an attacking fullback and how much he'll be able to do that. But yeah, like you can definitely, it's all about how you're able to break us down. I think Odegaard is going to be the key player for that. I think if he's playing, you're expecting the Odegaard to play. He's that creative spark. He's that one who can create something out of nothing. So I think he'll be your key player against us for sure.
Yeah. Judges, key men, key battles for you on Sunday. What are you expecting?
Midfield, again, I think if we can win that midfield, that gives us, the ability to get it to our front runners. I think Odegaard was magnificent. Do you remember when by dragging us by the scruff of the neck last season there? He's going to be key. I think that, but for me, Saka will always be a key player. Always a key player for us. Listen, we need to take our chances. We've been ruthless in our last couple of games. If I'll be honest, we didn't have that many chances against the Man United, but we took them, and we took them in key parts of the game when they was on top. We broke and scored. So I think that'll be key. I just think defensively we've got to be sound as well. Just be sound. I think. West Ham will probably be a little bit defensive in this game, not as normally attacking as they normally do. Just look at what Frankfurt did. You know what I mean? They just was, played through the lines, played out wide, got opportunities from the wide players. Our wide players are very, very good, very, very good. So listen, at the end of it, whatever West Ham team that does go, they can put all their big guns in if they want. Rice and Antonio, they can't do it at the back. They've got players missing at the back, whatever happens. And, get at them and make it as difficult as you possibly can for them. And then what you have to do is, try and run all over them, and I mean that in the nice possible way, is make them try and work hard, make them go do a little bit of running there where they don't want to. When they've got one out, you don't want to be sprinting 20, 30 yards down to the corner flag when you've got a massive cup semi-final, couple of days' time. And also, they could be a little bit jaded, you know what I mean? So that's how I've got to be. It's the perfect opportunity to really, really take it and put it on the West Ham, you know what I mean? And see if they fancy it then, and I don't mean that in a nasty way, Do they fancy doing that dirty work in this game when they know that they might have to do it in that? And don't forget, West Ham could have to go to extra time in the next game as well, you know what I mean? So that could happen as well. So it's a real interesting scenario what happens on Sunday. But whatever happens, whether West Ham put in a strong side or not, Arsenal should be going for it, making sure we get the 3 points. And don't forget, we go into this game knowing already what's happened at Spurs. And I expect the same from Spurs as well. I expect Leicester to make loads of changes. So I expect Tottenham to do exactly the same as what we are, really go for it and turn them over. I think they'll turn over Leicester comfortably because of that reason. And, if Arsenal don't turn over West Ham, I don't think you can be looking at West Ham. I think it's down to Arsenal. Arsenal got the, show the driving force, show the energy, just get the bloody 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree, man. Before we do some score predictions, Lawless, I want to ask you, Saka, Smith Rowe and Martinelli, which one for you do you think's got the highest ceiling? Which one do you think will make it big?
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. Do you know what? I think there's something about Martinelli that I think he can really go all the way. I think Jurgen Klopp, I know, is a huge admirer of him. I think he could do big things in the game. It's hard to look past Saka as well. It's interesting for me because you've always had promising youngsters over the last few years.
Yeah.
And they end up sort of fading out as they get a bit older, right? These three seem different. They feel different, but you never know. And it's just about if they're going to still be around in a couple of years, still performing at that level, or as Arsenal, where you get into the top four, you start getting back to levels you want to be. Can they keep up pace? If Arsenal get in the Champions League, are they going to be on the level of the Champions League, or do you need to level up? Can they keep up with it? That's going to be the big question mark for me. But right now, I think what Saka's done this season is remarkable. Like, he has been your bright spark. But I think there's something about Martinelli that I think he could definitely go on to have a big career in the game. And it's all about the others if they can. I think it's going to be interesting about Smith Rowe. I think he's been on and off at times, and I know he hasn't started a lot of games for you. So this season, I've seen times where he's been on the bench quite a few times, Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
And you sort of
he's
look
had
at
a few knocks.
Yeah, so hopefully he doesn't end up being another Wilshere, or in that regard.
Hope not.
Yeah, that's all you need. But yeah, you've had a lot of promising youngsters. This is going to be interesting. How do you guys feel in terms of if you don't get top four, in terms of keeping these players, these bright youngsters? Because like I said, Jurgen Klopp obviously sniffing around. Pep will probably start sniffing around Real Madrid, Barcelona. As the seasons, same with Rice, we've had with Rice, you start getting linked away when they think they can win titles and compete in the Champions League.
It's a great question. It really is, and it's one that we keep getting asked, really. And it was my biggest worry about trying to go with youth again, because we've done it 3 times already, and they've all left because we didn't win anything. So when Fabregas and Van Persie say see you later, we then try and do it again, and then Ramsey says I'm off as well on a free. Alexis Sanchez, I'm done. You're not winning anything here. We need to start winning stuff if we want to keep Saka, Martinelli and Smith Rowe, because otherwise they'll be wearing Newcastle and Man City shirts in a couple of years' time. And I truly believe that. I know they're Arsenal, I know they're Hale boys, but it doesn't mean anything when you're not winning trophies, because what's the idea of football? Winning, isn't it? Or is it just to be happy and just toss around 4th every season? I think these kids have got massive ambition, and they're hungry to win, and I hope it is with Arsenal. But I don't feel like it's going to be for a few years, and that's up to them whether they believe they're going to be hanging around for 4 or 5 years. I think we could quite happily keep them at Arsenal for another couple, if I'm honest, because I think that they do believe in the project. They're still young. And the way I see those 3, I think Smith Rowe's the most improved player at Arsenal this season, probably, or one of. Saka, I think, is the best, but I think Martinelli, I'm with you, has got the highest ceiling, because this kid can be anything he wants to be. I see so much hunger, passion and desire from him that I just think he could be a monster. I do think Saka's ahead of him at the moment, but I do think the ceiling's the highest with Martinelli. Judges, what's your thoughts on these 3? Are we going to be able to keep them for another 10 years at the club, or is it going to be difficult if we don't win stuff?
10 years, I'm not so sure if we're going to be like we are. Let's hope like in 10 years' time we're not. Hopefully we're challenging. The one thing I would say to him, if I was Saka, if I was to talk to Saka or Smith Rowe or whatever, I'd just go, look, you can go to Man City, £100 million, doesn't mean to say you're going to play week in, week out. That's what's happened with Jack Grealish. I don't think Jack Grealish will be, if you sat down with him, be happy with what's going on at Man City. He's not the only one. So I think at Arsenal at this moment in time, what do you guarantee these young kids? You guarantee them a lot of game time. And if you're getting a lot of game time at this moment in time, I'd rather be doing that than playing bit parts. Semi-finals of the Champions League. You want to play in them. It's great if you're involved in it, but it's not great being on the bench and coming on the last couple of minutes and things like that. So I would always say that it ain't always great. John Stones, not guaranteed that playing all the time. I look at Moyes in and out, was wonderful player at Leicester, but in and out at Manchester City. Jack Grealish is a massive point, and it looks like someone like Jesus, who was a talented youngster Brazilian youngster, a little bit like Martinelli, same sort of way that he was thinking. Wants out of that team at the moment, so. They want to be involved in those games and playing those games, So, listen, at this moment in time, they want to get involved in that. But I don't think it's the be and end all when you're 19, 20. What it is about is establishing yourself as a player, making sure you're getting lots of game time and things like that. 2 or 3 years' time, that's a different scenario then, And that doesn't mean to say that, they're going to go to Manchester City. There's Liverpool is a big option. You've got Newcastle, as you said, is a bigger option, So listen, you know.
Well, you've had bloody Aston Villa trying to sign Smith Rowe this season.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, so there's always so there's a great point what Lynn says. You know, look at Oxlade-Chamberlain. Hardly gets a game at Liverpool. I know.
Yeah, he had a big ceiling as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
Do you think he
massive,
regrets
was
it, though,
one
if
of my
he's got
favourite players at Arsenal.
Champions League? Because he did get Champions
That's
League
the
medal,
question.
didn't he? Even though he got
Yeah,
injured.
he's won the league and the Champions League, though. To be fair to him, so
Yeah, so you know.
what would you rather do? Would you rather go and win medals or just go and play and win nothing? It's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, if listen, I've been fortunate enough from when I played football to playing teams that won things and all that. I've also, I know it's not the same, but there are times when you're not in cup finals for whatever reason, like injured or whatever, you never feel the same. It's never the same as when you're actually playing in the game, and you know, like when you're a squad player, it ain't the same, you know. So yeah, I'm a big believer of, like, you know, play all this, you know, to be playing, but ultimately, you know, it's no good just sitting on the bench all the time, you know. And I'm not saying that these guys will do that, you know what I mean? They're good players, but ultimately, you know, there's going to come a time when those decisions are going to be made. But at this moment in time, I don't think I wouldn't even be worried about it at this moment.
No, I agree. I think we're
It's
fine.
the same
I do
thing.
think a couple of years.
That's
Go on,
it.
Dan.
Like, right. I look at it like Rice, and I always said when he was 2021, it's like there's no point looking for that next level move at that point when you're featuring, playing week in, week out, being a big part of the team.
Yeah,
You've
still
got
learning, Dan, as well.
years.
Learn your trade.
You're
Learn your trade.
still learning. Exactly. You're still learning, getting to feature week in, week out. You've still got a lot of years for that move to come if you do want to make it and then go and win those trophies. It's not like Kane where you're desperate 28, 29. Stay. Again, if you get Champions League, then it's a chance for them. Prove yourself against the Bayerns, the Real Madrids, and those caliber of teams.
Yeah, it's a great point. Someone like Jack Grealish was never going to get that at Villa. You know what I mean? Like, there's an opportunity for Declan. Listen, and also, I've always said this, you know what I mean? Like, how would Declan Rice feel about winning something at West Ham and getting Champions League football? Or he goes to Man City and wins it. You know what I mean? It won't be the same. No. It'd be great, you know what I mean? But like, to win it at your home team club and everything like that.
Great point.
It's more special, you know what I mean? Like, than being just one of the boys that's won it at so and so. You know, I'll ask you this. I'd love to ask this question tomorrow: is what's more special, him winning at Leicester or him winning it at Man City? I guarantee you'll say Leicester. I guarantee it.
Yeah, it's got to be. If he's telling the truth, he's got to say Leicester.
Yeah, because he was more part of it, like, played every week, and it was special, wasn't it? Like, you know what I mean? So, listen, you know, I'm not saying it's all about getting as many medals as you can, but I'm pretty sure that you know, I wouldn't even say, like, if you know, with Declan Rice at the minute, how old Declan Rice? 21, 22? 23, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even say this year would be like a chance for him to go. I'd hold on fire for at least another year, like, you know what I mean? But don't get you wrong. It's not necessarily going to be Declan Rice's decision neither. You know what I mean? West Ham might turn around and go, do you know what? This is the time for us to sell. Same with Arsenal players. They might go, do you know what? This is the time to sell.
No one knows.
No one knows.
Yeah. That's it. If someone comes in for 80 mil or Smith Rowe 100, but you might go, you know, maybe we could take this now and reinvest it here. And you got to look at what's the best. As much as we love our academy players, sometimes it's the best of the club, you know. And I wrestle with that a lot when I think about Rice. You know, if this much came in, you know, the possibility of there, he's hard to replace, but you know, we could spend it big. So
if someone said there's 100 mil, West Ham would say yes. They would. I guarantee they would. I reckon. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. A lot more football to be played first. A bit of fun before we finish and come to a score prediction. Lawless, start with you, man. You can have 3 Arsenal players at West Ham. Who would you choose?
3 Arsenal players at West Ham. Okay. This is a tough one. Because a lot of your areas, a lot of the areas that we need,
we also
need as well, like striker.
Yeah.
Like, we need a striker. So I wouldn't take any of your strikers. If Aubameyang was still knocking about, I would have said him. But apart from injuries aside, Tierney, I would take him. Like, obviously, he's looking like a bit injury prone. But I would take Tierney. We definitely need a left back. We need to level up our left back area, and I rate him a lot. I think he's a quality player.
He's class.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's definitely good. As much as Partey hasn't lived up to the hype that he came in with, he's still actually been this season. He's been really good and shown to be an influential player. So I think that gives us more depth in the midfield. And another one would be Martinelli, because Martinelli can play up front. I'd take Martinelli because even though he doesn't play, I don't know why Arteta don't try that more often and play him up front, as opposed to playing Lacazette there or Nketiah, or to try and have Smith Rowe, Saka, and then Martinelli up front. So yeah, those are the three I'd take.
Yeah, good options, mate. I can't lie. Kieran Tierney definitely is an upgrade on your left back area, and I think Thomas Partey and Declan Rice would be pretty decent, mate. And yeah, like you said earlier why you fancied Martinelli ahead of the other two. So fair play. Judges, you know what I'm going to ask, mate? 3 West Ham players. Who are you going for?
I'm going to take Bowen. I'll say who I'll take now. Bowen, obviously Declan Rice, and I'm going to go for. I know, like you just said about him, Cresswell. I'll take Cresswell as well. Like, you know what I mean? I think we need another left back. And that would be the one that I would take. I do like a couple of other, like Sucho. I like up in the midfield there. I like Fernells as well. I do like him.
Yeah, I like Fernells.
I just say, like, we've got players like that we can cover it all there. Like, I think Declan Rice coming into our midfield would be, fantastic. And I think Bowen would give us something different up front to our wider players that we've already got. And I do think we need cover at left back. We really do, so that would be my 3.
Yeah, fair play. I'm going to obviously go Rice and Bowen because I think they're both ridiculously good. I'm going to go Soufal because I feel like Cedric is just needing to probably be upgraded now as a backup right back. Tommy Asu's injury. And I think Cresswell, how old is Cresswell now? He must be touching his 30s, so I'm going to go for Soufal.
Yeah.
How old is he, Dan?
Yeah, he's about 32. Yeah. I think he's about 32.
So I'll go Soufal because I like Soufal. I think he's class. I know he's had injuries as well, though, Dan, but he's a good player.
He's
like
not
him.
Injury prone. It's just this season he had to have surgery, but he's back now. So he's a good shout.
Souček's the other one, but I think Partey and Rice would be a better partnership for me, so I'm going to go with that one.
I think to be fair, I think Zuma would be a shout with Gabriel, like in the back. Like, but I know a lot of you guys like White, but I put Zuma above White. I think that would be an upgrade on your centre back.
I think Zuma comes in, like, how old Zuma now? Must be about 30.
No, I think he's 28. I think he's 28.
He's still young. He was very young when he came on the scene, though, weren't he?
Yeah, it seems like he's been about forever, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, he could play. I'm keeping Ben White. I think he's much underrated, Ben White.
You like Ben White. Jury's still a little bit out for me, but yeah, I know Lee likes Ben White. I prefer Gabriel. I think Judges is the other way around. It's weird how it goes, though, isn't it? A lot of people prefer one or the other. Excuse me, I think Zuma is a good player.
Well, I like Gabriel. I just think Gabriel's form just dropped off the last few weeks. I have to say, maybe because he's not had the left back helping him out and whatever.
He's had a few mistakes in him, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a couple of little mistakes in that, but he's a top, still only young, top player as well. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we've got. I think we've got very good.
I agree with you there, Lee. I think we have. I think the problem with Ben White, people like to overhype him because he's English and because he's come for 50 million. A little bit like when they did with Pepe when we got him. Like,
I agree. I agree with that.
And I don't think he's the Tony Adams people want him to be. I do have him be doubts still. I think he's got a few mistakes in him. But to be fair, so's Gabriel. So I think because they're young, they're going to do that. You're going to have some mistakes.
What a comparison! I remember when a lot of your fans were calling Lacazette the next Ian Wright. I remember that.
We've done it quite a lot, mate. We've overhyped a lot of players in our time. Trust me, we really have. The amount of times that we've overhyped players.
For a very, very long while, there's been no one near Ian Wright. Like, I know we go Thierry Henry, but like a different player.
Different player, yeah. Ian Wright.
No one.
I think
I wish we got him a couple of years earlier, you know. When
he
come
was
on.
Yeah, he
about
done well for
36.
West Ham for
Yeah, he
first
did.
6 months he come in. He done really well for West Ham. Scored a few goals. You know what I mean? I remember him scoring at Spurs, didn't he?
Yeah,
You know,
No, decent. Absolutely.
yeah, that's it.
I-
But no more
I love him.
taking Arsenal players nearer the end of their careers. That's those days
Yeah,
are
man,
over.
you've had loads. Davor Suker, Freddie Lundberg, Ian
Yeah.
Wright, Nigel Winterburn, Freddie Lundberg. How many have you had? There's been quite a few.
Quite
you
a
had
few.
Shamak,
Arsenal
didn't you,
was
as
a good
well?
one.
Shamak, Moran
Yeah,
Shamak.
Liam Brady.
Brady, yeah,
Ian Brady,
again, like,
yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
It was
Took a lot of
Yeah.
players like West Ham, right? Stuart Robson.
We had Alex Song, but we didn't get him directly from.
Oh, that's right. It was a
Fabianski.
loan. Yeah, Fabianski. Alex Song.
Fabianski,
Oh,
yeah.
mate.
You lot
Loads,
don't
man.
rate him, but he's been good for us, mate.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. I tell you what, he went
He
to
was
Swansea
great.
and he
Great for you.
matured at Swansea and then come back and done a decent job for West Ham. Very, very decent.
Yeah, I've got to say, I agree with that. Let's go for score predictions then. Judges, let's come to you first. What do you think the score's going to be on Sunday, mate?
2-0.
Oh, West Ham.
2-0.
Obviously 2-0 to Arsenal. I'm going to agree with you. I think it will be. I'm going to go 2-0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. And we have to win this game. We have to win this game. So I think we will nick it 2-0. Lawless, what are you going for, mate?
I'm going for an exciting, thrilling, captivating 0-0. That's what I think you'll knock on the door quite a few times and we just won't open it. We'll turn the lights off, draw the curtains, and pretend to not be in. And it will be a 0-0.
Love it.
I honestly thought you would say we'd score, considering you've got no defenders. But I like it, man. Optimistic.
I just think, Moyes, he'll know.
John Hartson, another one. Well done there, Terence. Well done, John Hartson.
Oh, Hartson, yeah, of course.
He was one of the quality ones for us for sure. Love John Hartson. I think someone called me John Hartson in the chat earlier.
Really?
Really nice guy, John Hartson. Top guy.
Yeah, he's done some stuff on our channel. He's brilliant. But yeah, I think Moyes, like I said, Moyes will know that how weak our defense is, and I think he'll set us up tactically to be able to deal with that. I'm sure. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you do win it, though. I wouldn't be surprised. So we'll see. But it's Arsenal. You don't do things the hard way, do you? You beat Man United and Chelsea, and you come to West Ham, who's depleted and focused on Frankfurt. So you could lose it, and you.
That is so true. That is so true.
The Arsenal way
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. That's what we've done this season, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't be shocked. I won't be shocked at anything. I'm not predicting anything with this Arsenal team at the moment. So Matthew Upson, another one just come in. Well done, Terence.
God, they're right. I tell you what, this is unbelievable how many there has been.
Yeah, we had Jenkinson on loan, didn't we?
Jenkinson, another one on
yes, well done. You could have a bloody team here at the minute.
There's probably an 11 that we could bloody end up doing, innit? You probably do a whole 11.
Yeah, you could do. You actually could do.
In goal, Jenkinson at right back, Winterburn left back,
Matthew Upson in the middle.
Centre half.
Yeah, you could, couldn't you?
Alex Song and Liam. Yeah, Jack Wilshere, Alex Song. Liam Brady, and then Freddie Lundberg.
There's not many
Lewis Boa-Morte is another one. Lewis Boa-Morte.
Put that in there,
Lucas Perez. Look at that. Lucas Perez.
Players have gone to Arsenal.
We've got subs as well now. Look, you know what I mean?
Subs as well. Almunia, of course. Almunia in goal. Henry Lansbury. Ali Adier, Jeremy Ali Adier.
Players, haven't you? But you never really signed. You haven't really signed many players off us. Can't really think.
How many players have come from West Ham? Hardly any, like that. I mean,
yeah. No, I remember you were linked with Winston Reid, and then we gave him an 8-year contract. You know, and he was
linked with Tony Cotty back in the day and Frank McAvenny.
Yeah, you know, there is actually more. There's actually like we think, we might be able to put an 11 together. Might just about. We've got a squad of 23 here. Do you know what I mean? It's unbelievable.
There we go. Players there, like I said,
we'll have to do that. We'll have to do a show about that because I'll tell you what. Who would you have up front? You got Wright, Hartson, Shamak,
Suka.
Definitely not Shamak. Definitely not Shamak.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Lee Chapman had a time at West Ham, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Arsenal.
Bloody hell.
He weren't
There's
no good,
loads.
though.
You'd have to look at how far back you would go in that, wouldn't you?
You have to do a Premier League one. You have to be a Premier League
Sammy
one. I think.
Nasri has just been mentioned.
Nasri, yeah.
Nasri.
He got the assist against Arsenal, didn't he, when Rice got that goal?
That's right.
And the Arsenal fans were raging. That's the only thing you really did at West Ham was get that assist.
That could be a whole other show, to be fair. Listen, Lawless, thank you as ever, mate, for coming back on. Much appreciated, bro. Where can people find you, man?
Yeah, West Ham Fan TV, of course, all social media. I think Jason that will be doing a watch along for the Arsenal game, so do check that out. And at the Lawless on Twitter if you want to come and at me and tell me how great Arteta is, and I don't know what I'm talking about. So come and chat me out there.
Man, people will, mate. People will. Trust me. If you ask that, you invite that, you'll get that, mate. People will buy it. 100%.
Don't upset our schooners. Don't upset us.
Yeah, don't upset them.
I tell you what, on social media, the Arsenal fans are rabid.
Yeah, they really are, bro. They
Love
really
it.
are. Thank you, judges, as ever, mate. Top man.
No, I enjoyed
and-
it. Right, yeah, I went, that's
Yeah,
good.
always a good chat with Dan. And do you know what? Thank you all so much as well for listening, all in the chat. It's been great to see the interaction in the chat and a good bit of laugh and banter with Arsenal and West Ham players at the end. And I think we might have to
That
come
was
back
great,
and do another
great,
show
great
about that, because that was
interaction there, like,
a
some
good
great
bit of
names.
memory. Get some memories indeed,
Yeah.
and some nostalgia. So that's all good. We'll be back to discuss what happens at the weekend. So stay tuned. If you haven't done so already, smash a like on this video. And if you think we're going to win, hit a like and subscribe for us. That would be fantastic. Until then, we'll see you next time. Up the Arsenal, and take care, guys.